All right, I think we are live. I'm just gonna double check here. Have you seen YouTube's new huh?
Sorry for occasional noise when the
That's all good. All good in the hood. I pop out the chat. All right. Okay. So I have a legit question that is very just suited for you to answer. I don't know who else I would go to for this one. So, how do I explain this? So, you know, Sharespark, I haven't been able to quite figure out. I think I figured it out. I think I know at least how to kick it off. And I think I've come up with a way to generate money also. Whether it turns profit, I don't know yet, but I think it's a good place to start. And I think I might have talked to you about this. It's like doing the live streaming shows.
Yeah.
Did I tell you? Yeah. So like, I want to start, basically what I think is the best way to do this is to just like start talking about these issues that arise because of digital media, but then also like do videos and live streams about how you can use digital media, and then also highlight people that are doing really cool things with digital media, right? So it's kind of like this, basically creating content. And I don't know, do you watch Game of Thrones?
No. I'm like the only person on the planet.
No, you're not. You're not. So after Game of Thrones, there's a show that goes live on Periscope / Twitter called Talk the Thrones, and it has over 100,000 people that tune in live every week, and they're sponsored by Verizon. So that's what I'm thinking is a way to start, because just even based on the network that I've built in the past couple years, and especially in the past year and a half, from people who know what I'm doing, I feel like there are people who would want to sponsor, like whether it's putting their name or their business's name, you know, being a proud sponsor of this content. So my question to you is, I'm still a sole proprietor DBA. And I think that's cool, you know, for that's going to be cool to a certain point. And, you know this because I think I was going to go LLC, but it costs $800 or whatever, like to pay in a year to like maintain that, which I never ever got. So, but I also want people to be able to say that they're writing the check out to a legit like organization. Not that I'm not legit, but you know, I think you know what I'm talking about. There's like credibility of being an actual entity.
Got you.
Right.
Well, before you keep going, just because you're not an LLC doesn't mean these organizations can't make checks out to Sharespark Media. Just letting you know, just want to make that clear.
Right. And that's how my clients pay me. You know, I say like, you know, make the check out to Sharespark Media. Like it has its own bank account and like, you know, but.
So if you did, you know, I guess just spelling out what the benefit of an LLC would be, for example,
Yeah.
is it's just liability protections toward any like issues that may arise on your part. So a regular corporation like an S corp or whatever, or an LLC would just protect you, protect your personal liability, just in case anyone wanted to sue you or file a lawsuit against you. They can't take your car, they can't take stuff like that. They can only take whatever is owned by the business itself.
Got it. So in your opinion, then I should probably not even be thinking about that. Like that's not holding me back.
It's not holding you back, but if it's, I personally think that every business eventually should become an LLC or a corporation, because as you grow, there are other benefits to that as you scale up. Like with a corporation, for example, you have a board of directors, and that's different from the CEO and the CFO and stuff like that, you know? And you start to learn that as your business grows, because, you know, if you ever want to publicly trade it years down the line, like 10 years or 20 years or whatever, 5 years, who knows, down the line, then it's worth it to become an S Corp, because then you can divvy up shares as you see fit. And you, the CEO, if you are the CEO, don't have to be part, you know, it gets more complicated, and it might be difficult to wrap your head around right now. But for example, like Coca-Cola, you know, they have shareholders, which are people that buy stock of their business. So just because I hold a 0.5% share of Coca-Cola, it means that I partially own it, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm a shareholder. However, I'm not a CEO. I'm not a CFO. Compared to sole proprietorships, where if you are the entrepreneur, you are the sole owner.
Right. So no one else has ownership, you know.
Correct. So having an LLC or a corporation allows you to expand the shareholdership in the future.
Yeah.
Which means you can diversify your company. But the big benefit for you is that it basically becomes its own entity, almost like Sharespark Media will become its own like person. It'll hold its own like social security number, which is your tax ID. It'll become its whole separate thing. So you, from then on, you cannot just write checks to yourself without having good reason, you know, like say it's payroll or whatever. It becomes its own entity. It's like, it becomes a person. And then you are Heather, yes, creator of Sharespark Media Incorporated, but it's now separate. And that has a lot of benefits in the future.
Okay, because eventually, obviously, I want it to be an official entity. And I dismissed nonprofit right away, just from like my Techo Green experience and like having been in nonprofit for the past 10 years. It just seemed like this is not, I don't know, like it just doesn't feel right to do a nonprofit. And that might be because I don't know enough about it. I don't know if you know too much, but either way, yeah, what's up?
Oh, sorry. No, I was going to say I don't know much about the nonprofit sector, but I do know it works relatively the same way as a for-profit. I mean,
right. Right. Okay, so.
But I think, sorry, it just popped in my head, because I do have a family member that started a nonprofit. Of course, as you know, it takes time. So no matter what, you would have to form like an LLC or a corporation anyway before you become a nonprofit. Yeah,
it took us 9 months to get a 501c3.
Yeah, so it's kind of like you're still this entity, you're an LLC or you're a corporation, and then from there you apply to become a nonprofit, but you're still a corporation in essence. I think, I don't quote me on that, but I know you still have to form a business and do all of that to be able to form a 501c3. So
yeah, I'm actually
501c3 status.
Right. I'm just not going to go there. I just, like, because it's a media company. I just want the content is like socially good, but I just, okay, so that's ruled out. So moving forward, if I want to start doing this, like say next month, then you're thinking there's not really a rush. Like, is this something like, okay, can I file either for a corp or LLC? For some reason, I'm gravitating towards LLC. that's easy, right? Like that process. It's not like I have to wait for an application or whatever.
It's easy. You just go online. For California, you go to the Secretary of State website. I think it's soc.gov or something like that. And you fill out the form to form an LLC.
Okay.
That's all you do. And then from there, you pay the fee to file the application fee. And then, like you said, you pay California $800 a year when you file your taxes.
Oh, when you file your taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that 800 wouldn't happen until like April.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. But like
I want to mention is it's not prorated. So say it's December, and you file it in December 2017. When you pay the next year, it's not like a fraction. You don't pay a fraction. You pay the 800 regardless. So if you were going to do it, my suggestion would be to do it on the beginning of your fiscal year. And if that's January, that's when I would do it, honestly.
okay. I mean, I don't even have a fiscal year right now because it's just like me, Like I haven't even. I mean, I guess my fiscal. What's up?
Oh, I was gonna say it'll default to January to December, unless you adjust your fiscal year to something else, because some people do.
Okay. Okay. So then, knowing that, do you think that Sharespark having a status is necessary at this point?
No.
No.
Honestly, don't. I don't want to downplay the importance of creating a business entity. I don't want to downplay that, but where you are in your business, I really don't think that it's something that you need right now. However, if you feel like that's what you want to do, I'm definitely for it, because I could see your company growing and it will be beneficial down the road. But I don't think that, I mean, if what you're trying to accomplish with it right now is just to legitimize, it's not going to do that. You're already legit. You know what I mean?
Right.
If it's for other reasons like tax purposes or future business planning, then by all means, that's a great idea. And I do agree with you on the Want to Go LLC, because since you're just a single person, you're not partnering with anyone. Those liabilities don't really, like the S corp liabilities don't really apply as much to you. You can file an LLC alone. Normally, it would be just like a corporation where there's multiple people involved, but you can, I think they call it a private LLC or something like that, where it's just you. But back in the day, my friend, for example, she owned a stationery company. She wanted to get an LLC for her stationery company, and what she did was she named herself as the president, the main member, and she owned like 99% of the company. And then she gave her husband 1%, because you needed to have more than one person. But now I think you can file it by yourself.
Got it. But I mean, there's no problem if I wanted to like add people, like if it expanded, right?
If it expanded, because you have to renew it every year. You have to renew it, I think, in August every year. And then if there's any changes, then you just fill out the form with a new change, and there's like a checkbox. So as long as you file it every year, you can update as needed, no problem. And you still have to pay the,
right. So
no matter or not.
So like from an outsider's perspective, so the benefit is just internal then.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay.
I mean, because right now you're Sharespark Media. If you file an LLC, you'll be Sharespark Media, LLC. That's the only thing that will change. Or if you're gonna be a corporation, you're Sharespark Media, Incorporated. So that's the only real difference. That's why for like my online company, like for Creative Cartel, I'm still a sole proprietorship. But for a place like Nino's, because people walk in, it's a brick and mortar, it makes more sense to be a corporation. Plus, there's 4 business partners, right? So for us, it makes sense just in case, we default on our rent and we're unable to pay, then the landlord can't come and take
And
our house as collateral. That's when it starts to be beneficial. They can only take what is owned by the business.
got it. Okay. Got it.
And then there's, I know, like, this is getting political, but I know, like, I don't know if it has already happened or if it's in the works of happening, but I know Donald Trump is like doing stuff so that there are bigger tax benefits if you own a corporation.
Okay, so here's the thing. Like, I have no idea what Sharespark's gonna look like in 6 months. I don't know. So I think the reason why I wanted to ask you now whether I should do like some kind of filing is because I thought I needed to do that in order. Like, Sharespark Media hasn't really been like generating income. It's kind of like just clients right now. But like, for example, if I'm going to pitch someone like, hey, do you want to sponsor our weekly live show where we talk about like digital literacy? And that, like, to me, I don't know, I'm going to throw out $500, like I felt like in order for me to take that, I needed to be an entity, but no, right? It's the same. Like, nothing changes.
No, you are
for
an
them.
entity. You are an entity already because you are you're a sole proprietorship. You're already an entity, or you're a legitimate business. Let's say it that way. You're a legitimate business because you filed for Heather Ramirez doing business as Sharespark Media.
Right.
So for them to pay you $500, $10,000, $1 million, they can do that already because you're legitimized. They can write it out to Sharespark Media. It's done.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like I have more questions, but I don't know how to ask. Like, I don't know what I'm asking. But I think that's it.
Talking then, maybe it'll help spark. But like I said, if you want to file an LLC, it does have benefit because say a big brand wanted to sponsor you and gave you $1,000 to do content or to do one live episode. It's sponsored by X brand or whatever. Say, for example, something goes awry and something goes wrong. If you don't have an LLC or a corporation set up and they file a lawsuit against you and they win, they could take your car.
Right.
So you run a little risk, but the thing is it's very spelled out whatever your service is. I mean, it's not like they're going to walk into your place of business, slip and fall, and sue you.
Right. Exactly.
So it is very spelled out. Your liability is very small. Like, your margin of liability is really tiny. So that's why I honestly don't think, especially to get started, it's not going to be that big of a deal. The only way I can see someone filing a lawsuit toward this particular product is like, if you promised, I don't know, a certain amount of views and it under-delivered or whatever.
Which I would never do.
Yeah, exactly. So as long as that's all spelled out in your agreement, when they sponsor that particular episode, as long as you're covered, like say a lawyer drafts your agreement, as long as you're completely covered, you're good. You don't really need it.
Okay, so there's my second or whatever question I'm on. Lawyer drafting an agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Help. Like, what am I doing? What is, like, what do you mean? Like, I know what you mean, but like,
I mean, if someone pays you anything,
yeah,
you have to have a contract. You have to.
A contract?
Yes, an agreement, a contract, because this is not like, selling a greeting card. Because for $4, I can sell a greeting card, and that is the contractual agreement because it's
Physical thing.
a product, so they know
Yes.
what they're getting. However, if I was gonna do a custom card, I have to I have to have some kind of agreement that spells out what I'm gonna deliver to the person giving me money.
Okay. Wait, that
So
makes
just
sense.
would with clients, like say you promise, I don't know, one post a day, a blog post a week. I don't know what you promise, but in not only do you spell out what you promise to deliver, what service or product you're going to give to them for the money, you're also going to say things like how long, what is this called? How long it's going to take for them to give you the payment, like
Right.
when the
Right.
payment
Right.
is due.
Okay. Yeah. Because I do that with my clients that like pay me on a retainer.
Right. But I would definitely consult a lawyer if you're going to target bigger brands that you want to sponsor you, because you've got to make sure that you're protected, because you, like I said, you don't have a tangible product. It's a very subjective thing. And say a company that doesn't really get it, that wants to break into the digital media scene by paying you for an ad, say they pay you $500 and then they're like, well, this isn't exactly what I was expecting. And that's very possible. That's a very plausible thing that could happen. Then your contract or your agreement that was signed by you and the party giving you the money clearly spells out what you were going to deliver.
Right. So there's no like, interpretation. It's all there.
Yes. And like I said, because it's a subjective product, I recommend that you either go on LegalZoom or you consult an attorney to draft a contract for you, so that you can just give it to a sponsor every time they're interested.
Right. Like a template.
Mm-hmm. And then you just put in the name of the business and how much they're going to give you. And then it still spells out clearly what you're going to deliver to that client and what your expectations are on their part.
Got it. Okay. So my only experience with lawyers throughout this entrepreneurial journey was at the very beginning, when I was paranoid that someone was going to take the name Sharespark Media. And I was like, oh my God, I need to trademark this ish. I want this word. I want it to be mine. No one's going to take it. Da, 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 da. Every lawyer I consulted with, I told them I was starting a business, da, da, da. And it just turned into this really expensive thing. That's not even including the trademarking. They were like, we'll help you do the LLC. We'll help you do, basically just be like the legal and financial department. And it was just like a couple hundred every session. And then just to file a trademark was like, I don't even know, like $800 or something. So I was like, you know what, to hell with this, because I can't do that. And I didn't end up trademarking Sharespark, which is fine for now. But I guess my question is like, where can I find a lawyer, and what would be like a cost? Like, could you give me an estimate of how much that would cost, so that when I like call people, I'm not like, well, is this a fair price? I have no idea.
To be honest, I don't know because I have a lawyer in the family, so I don't know what a fair price would be. Honestly, I would go onto LegalZoom if you're thinking about doing something on a budget. LegalZoom is great for entrepreneurs that just don't have the resources to have like an attorney on their side. Check out LegalZoom. I highly recommend it. They might have something in there for you, like digital marketer agreement. It might be in there. And then you can kind of edit and cater it to whatever you need. If you are interested in trademarking Sharespark Media, you can do that on LegalZoom too. I mean, it's not as easy as just going to a trademark lawyer, but obviously that costs a lot more. If you're willing, or when you're ready to do that, you can through LegalZoom, and it's cheaper for sure. That being said, if you want, I can give you a contact to a lawyer. I have a couple, one that I've never worked with, but a bunch of people in the stationery industry have, and she is like a creative business lawyer. So she specializes in small businesses, but I don't know what her rates are like because, like I said, I've never used her. And then I can put you in contact with my cousin as well. I don't know what his rate would be, but hey, it doesn't hurt to email him and just be like, hey, just wanted to know if this is something that you could do and how much it would cost to do so, and then compare it against LegalZoom and see what happens. Whatever.
Right. Right. Because basically what this is like a contract. Like I'm trying to get a contract drafted for a service.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
And like I said, I honestly think you can find that on LegalZoom. I really think you can. Try that first and see what comes up when you search. And I don't think you would have a problem. Or even something like a service-based business agreement. And then you can put out like your own package of what you're going to deliver. But a service-based business contract or business agreement is good enough, I think. I did that when I used LegalZoom when I had my wedding planning business. Because my cousin wasn't an attorney at the time. He was still going to school. So I just went into LegalZoom and put wedding planner contract. And then I found one. I put in I downloaded the template. I bought it. I forgot how much it was at the time. But I just kind of also catered it to what I wanted. Because on there it said something like hourly rate. And I don't charge an hourly rate. I charge a flat rate. So I just kind of picked off those tiny little things and put in what I needed. But everything else, all the legal jargon is in there. And then whatever you need to add as you go, you add, you know?
Right. Okay. Okay. Got it. Chiming in here in the chats really quick, Macho Jobber says, lit stream, good info. I try to have my own business, but it's hard. I try LegalZoom too. Antonio says, would an entertainment lawyer work for any legal advice? If so, I think I know someone in that field or for trademark stuff. Well, Antonio, I think based on this conversation, I just need a contract. And I think what I would consult with a lawyer is like having them help me draft a contract for sponsors. But I have to bootstrap like first. So I think I'm going to do what Carissa suggested, check LegalZoom. I might even just like see what I find on Google too. Like, because there's sponsorships like everywhere. Like people do this all the time. So I'm just going to see like what's out there and try to see if I can come up with my own, just obviously if this work, like, cause I'm still testing. I don't know if this is going to work. So I need to try it, get data. And then like from there, if it ends up working the way I'm hoping, take all the, next steps, like filing for an LLC, making sure I consult the lawyer, But I don't have like any cap to do that right now. So that's why, but yeah.
I was going to say also, and if it's for your personal business and you need an entertainment lawyer, all lawyers have a specialty. So it might be immigration, it might be workers' comp, it might be entertainment, it might be trademark, real estate. There's different specialties that all law firms and lawyers kind of go into, but all of them know basic general law. So if you have a family member or friend and you just say, hey, can you look over something for me? And they're willing to do it, just remember that like everyone has a basis of law, and then from there they might not be able to guide you because it's not their area of expertise. Just like a surgeon, you know, they all know basic anatomy and all that, but just remember, like, they can help you on the surface, but if it's something very specific you want to get more in depth, consult someone that is more into that field.
Got it. Okay. I think that's it. Yeah.
Start with that. Check out LegalZoom, see what you can find, and then go from there. I mean, honestly, I think you're smart enough and you can wrap your head around what you initially want to offer, and that's enough to get started at least. And then maybe as you gain more clientele and you start to kind of make it bigger and grow a little bit more, then you'll be able to kind of go, okay, now there's people asking me questions and I don't know the answers to them. Like, maybe I can consult a lawyer to take my draft and like add some stuff in there, and kind of go from there. But anything is a good starting point, as long as it's as thorough as you can think of it to be. Don't just take a day and be like, okay, I'm going to plug everything in. Like, take a day, put in the stuff that you know that should be in the agreement, and then maybe in a couple days, read it again and be like, oh yeah, I should add this in there, because stuff will pop into your head as you go along and you start typing stuff out, and you're like, oh, I should add, I don't know, an arbitration clause or something in whatever. So don't just take one day and be like, okay, great, it's done, I'm gonna send it to my first sponsor. Give yourself a little bit of time. But I think you know enough to be able to like input your own, as long as the meat of the contract is already there.
Right. Okay. Okay. Macho Jobber says, do LegalZoom. They are cheap and easy. Antonio says, check all that you can. Honestly, you know more than me on this stuff. All I do is Instagram for now. Super baby stuff's on my end. Your senpai. Macho Jobber says, what that she's saying is good stuff to know. Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Carissa, because who the hell would I ask if not for you? So if you guys are watching and you're interested in entrepreneurship or business, Carissa is an entrepreneurship coach. She's doing business coaching and stuff. So Carissa has been my go-to since day freaking one. Like, literally, I still had my job and I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. She was the first person I called, and has been like a true partner in this since day one. So hit her up. I'm pretty sure I put her contact info underneath in the description below, but if not, you could check her out on Instagram at justkissa, JUSTKISSA, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to see if there's anything else I need to ask, but I don't think there is. I think that's it.
Also, I mean, there are tons of blog posts out there. I think I have one as well on, you know, the benefits, specifically in California, because it varies state to state. So try and look for, like, when you search specifically for California, because that's really important. Just Google and see what you can find, and just type in like benefits of LLC in California, or, you know, stuff like that. And it'll get you familiar with why people do it, or if it's something that you even need for now. And like I said, you can change to an LLC almost any time.
Yeah, I remember
the government doesn't care.
Right. Yeah. So I'm just not generating enough income was what it came down to. But if you generate like more than, I know the benefit is like, if you have an LLC, you can actually get more tax deductions based on like something, like it'll actually make the $800 worth it kind of thing.
Yeah, there are tax benefits. Same with corporations. And I think there, like I said, there's going to be possibly more after they pass that bill for tax cuts for big businesses. So that could be beneficial. However, there are other things that you have to remember when you become an LLC or corporation, like double taxation. And that's like a whole nother like realm of what this is.
Jesus.
But, you know, because think about it. If you created Sharespark Media LLC, that's its own, because it has its own identifying number, like its own social security number, which is the tax ID, right?
Yeah.
So pretend now, once you file that LLC, Sharespark Media is a person.
Yes.
And Heather Ramirez is another person. So when Sharespark Media makes money, you have to pay taxes, income taxes on that money, because it's an entity. It's a person, right? And then when you make money, you have to pay taxes as well.
Oh.
There's double taxation. And though there are tax benefits like tax deductions for the business, when it pays Heather Ramirez, you still have to pay income taxes as a person. So there's double taxation happening there.
Got it. Oh man. Okay. Got it.
So that's something to think about also.
These are all like problems I wish I had. Like I'm really excited for these problems.
I honestly didn't know that was a problem until Nino's.
Oh, really?
And when we started turning like even $1,000 profit at the end of the year, I had to pay taxes, and then the stupid company had to pay taxes. And I was like, I don't have that money. Like, how am I supposed to pay it? So it's a good problem to have, but it's not like you have any more than you did from when you started out. It's like you're still down to zero or negative, you know, but.
Yeah. Okay. So that was kind of the hump I was trying to get over in terms of like moving forward. So thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. I just have to still think. But this is like a, you know, seriously a question, and now I can say, okay, answered, and now I know what to do, action steps. I just need to go get a contract and figure this out. But yeah, cool. Okay, awesome.
And just remember, do what works best for you. You know, I mean, you're gonna, just like with anything that you've done from this point, you just learn along the way. That's how I did it. I mean, I wouldn't know anything if I didn't Google the crap out of everything, because I didn't know. I wasn't sure. And I did, like you said, I didn't have the money to ask a lawyer, or I didn't have anyone in the family yet that could kind of advise me. So I just kind of plowed my way through, and I was like, I'll figure it out as I go, you know. And this is the same thing. It's more scary because it has to do with legal stuff, but for the most part, it's not that bad.
Right. Yeah. I know. I think I'm just like intimidated by like legal jargon, but whatever. I figured out my client contracts, so I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. To end, Antonio says, I just started following you like a day ago. What inspired you to go on as an entrepreneur? What do you hope to achieve short term or long term? I'm going to look at the digital literacy vid tonight after work. Like I don't know how to answer that very quickly, Antonio. So I linked you my very first vlog that can kind of give you like what I was thinking on day one. And then Carissa, who's the guest on the show right now, is my accountability partner. We kind of have a weekly live show. You can find the playlist. It's called Empowered Entrepreneurs, where we just talk business. Basically, we talk about like it's mostly me picking her brain about business. And actually Carissa picks my brain about digital media, which is cool. So you can check those out. All the replays are saved. And yeah, let's see. Macho says, I have my sole proprietor documents from LegalZoom for my business. I'm thinking of LLC. It's better. Yeah. Okay, guys. So thanks for tuning in. Carissa, lifesaver, as always. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
really quick, how is the Philippines? I don't know if you guys know this, but Carissa is seriously live streaming from the Philippines.
It's really humid and hot and wet. It's raining almost all the time.
Oh, wow.
Right now is like kind of their rainy season. So it rains on and off, and when it rains, it like downpours. It's crazy. But it's, I mean, it's funny to say, but it's so much fun here. It's a third world country by far. I mean, we have a nice house. My grandma has a nice house here, and she's lived here ever since, oh my gosh, I was probably 9 or 10 when she moved to this house, and she had an even bigger house before then because, you know, my dad and his brothers and sisters were living all under one roof, so they had a larger home. But there's like a house here, and then right across the street are like little shanty shacks where people live, and this is a normal thing, you know? So it's very weird. It's definitely a culture shock to see where you have a nice house with granite countertops and furniture, and then right across the way is like this thing that they built out of like not just wood, because rain would rot the wood. It's like made out of sheets of metal, you know. There's no
Right.
insulation or protection from the heat. There's no protection from all the mosquitoes and bugs and all that stuff. Yet I'm here across the way in like a completely comfortable, beautiful home, you know?
Yeah.
So it's definitely a culture shock, but it's so much fun here. The people are like really nice. There's tons of places to go shopping. That's pretty much all I've done while I'm here, because you can buy a bunch of stuff for a fraction of the price here. You know, I just bought a tripod. I don't know if you saw it on my Insta story, but I bought the tripod that you have.
Yeah.
For $5. And then one of my friends, his name is Ron. He's an actor, and he just started vlogging.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Ooh, dang! Do you think it's good quality?" And I mean, when I touched it compared to the one I buy off of Amazon, it actually feels more sturdy and more durable.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
So I was like, "Do you want me to grab you one while I'm here?" And he was like, "Yeah." And even then, I like haggled, because it was originally, I think, $6, and I guess when it converts, yeah. So your money goes a long way here, you know. Like, to them, oh my gosh, $5 is like enough, because they get it for way cheaper.
Right.
You know?
Dean is asking where in the Philippines you are.
I am in I'm in Manila. I'm fairly close to Manila. My family is from Antipolo. It's like, I think, north. Anyway, it's just a few miles away or kilometers away from actual like Metro Manila. But on a bad day, oh my gosh, it could take like 2 hours to get into the city. But if I went home from a bar at 4 a.m, it would take me like 15 minutes.
Got it.
So, but like I said, it's a lot of fun here, because your money goes, as an American, your money goes a long way. People are really nice. Compared to before, the Philippines is really westernizing, which is kind of sad, but as a tourist, it makes it really convenient and easy, because, you know, you still can't drink the tap water here. You've always got to buy bottled water. Back in the day, you had to be careful with bottled water, because they would even like remove the caps and refill it with tap water and close it again. So, you know, it's gotten a lot better ever since the last time I've been, but it's a lot of fun.
Monster Jobber says, take me there. I got to get out of the city. Dean says, ride any trikes or jeepneys?
Not this trip, not yet. Actually, one of the guys that works for my grandma, because my grandma's 93, so she has help that helps her cook and keeps her comfortable. He actually also has what they call a sideline, which is like his entrepreneurial, and he has a tricycle. So he takes people from this area, which is kind of like a more of a suburb of Antipolo, and takes them down to the cathedral where the city is and where it's really bustling in this area, and he brings them back and forth as his what they call sideline here in the Philippines. So I do ride tricycles every once in a while, but when it's hot, man, like
you want to be in a car.
Yeah, anything with AC is where I want to be.
Right, right. Got it. Well, I hope you're having fun and enjoying yourself.
Yeah, I'm mostly here to spend time with family, like my dad and my grandma. So I'm doing a lot of that, and that in itself is just, I'm trying to treasure every moment. You know.
How long was your flight from Australia to Philippines?
A little less than 8 hours.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and then if I had gone direct from LAX to Sydney, it would have been, I think, over 16 hours. But if I go to Manila from LA, it's 13 hours. And then from Manila to Sydney is 8 hours.
Got it. Okay.
Almost kind of the same. It's not very much to be able to take
like
a trip. It's kind of worth it.
Yeah. Let's see. Dean says, bring me back some pandesal. Oh my God, that sounds so good right now.
You can actually go to my bakery and get it right now.
This is true. Oh yeah. We have to talk about that next week, because Progress Party is next Friday, a week from tomorrow, and it's gonna be all Ninong's food. So I gotta remind my peoples to RSVP so that I can give Chris a head count and we can start talking about what everyone's gonna eat. So yeah. Dial M4 says, is Carissa helping or we help Carissa? Carissa is helping me, but we're done. We were talking about whether I should file for LLC or not, but
she helps me too.
Yeah. Okay, guys, so we're gonna end the stream. Thanks for tuning in, Carissa. Again, thanks so much. And we have a live stream scheduled for Monday.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Hopefully I have really, really, really big good news for you to report on Monday. I'm not gonna tell you because then you won't have to keep me accountable, but hopefully hopefully I can pull through on this. But oh God. Okay, dude. Well, I'll talk to you later, yeah?
Okay.
All right, bye guys.